It's just one of those random things to prove to that we're not really alone.
Mm-hmm.
And something else, Ace, you kind of taught me about this one while we were doing our talking spiel here, and this is something called the transgender umbrella.
Yes. Actually, I mean, there's umbrellas for everything. I don't say everything. For every community in the LGBTQ community, I should say. Subgenres? Can we call them subgenres?
Subgenres.
Isn't that that's kind of like books in there? Yeah, but go for it. So you're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to explain to me a little bit more about.
Okay. So an umbrella term is like, say somebody says like, okay, so it's an umbrella term. So if you're looking at like the quote unquote gay umbrella, I suppose, underneath it would be like lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, poly. I want to include as many sexualities as I can because a lot of them get forgotten.
Sure.
It even includes asexuality. It's still a part of the community.
Okay, so then you have like you have.
And if you want to take a look at the like transgender umbrella, we can.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the transgender umbrella right now because well, it's cool and I liked it, and because again, it's one of those many things that I don't know about.
Yeah.
Like so many others, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but there's just so many of these things that I don't say as an adult I don't know because. It's
even
not really an adult thing so much as it is a newbie type thing.
Even as an LGBTQ member, I don't know a lot of terms. I'm still working on figuring out certain pronouns.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially neo-pronouns.
So
I'm getting better with those. I'm very proud of that.
I went onto this website called mytranssexualdate.com. This has absolutely nothing to do with not a dating service.
Oh, thank God.
Not a dating service. Okay?
I got really scared. I was like, oh.
It says transgender is an umbrella term for people whose gender identity and or gender expression differ from the sex that they were assigned at birth.
Correct.
Okay. The terms may include, but are not limited to, and then it says transsexual, intersexual, genderqueer, drag king, drag queen.
Do we count drag king and drag queen?
I think that's just cross-dressing.
I don't know. It's here, so
I don't think that counts as a gender identity.
All three of us are so confused.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea personally. I've met some. I have.
Well, there's like
seen some gay drag kings and queens, but
there's transgender male and transgender female, or transgender man and transgender woman, because we had that issue male female. That's a sexual term. Gender nonconformist, which is, again, the non-binaries, and then bigender.
There's also pangender.
I think that falls under the nonconformist.
And agender.
Yeah.
There's a lot of genders.
There's tons of them. There really are.
So many genders.
Gender thief.
How do you keep them all straight?
You don't. The gender thief, I swear, this is like the Percy Jackson thing. It's Percy Jackson and the gender thief.
I would read or watch that.
So, I would read that.
So this one goes into binary versus non-binary.
Yes.
And I pulled this one up on LiveJournal, livejournal.com, which, again, this is what we kind of do. We want to make sure that people have the access that we do.
And this is actually one of the images I've seen before. This is what actually taught me about the umbrella.
So, again, you have the transgender umbrella, but you have binary versus non-binary.
Correct.
And then you have binary, trans men, trans women, non-binary, which is genderqueer, demi-boy, demi-girl, gender fluid, bigender, agender, trans nuance, maybe?
I don't know what that one is.
Okay, we're going to look that one up. And then it says and more. So I'm going to look up this word here real quick. Which, of course, I messed up because that's just what I do. Because anything that I
thought it was a scientific term for a second.
I'm sure
I was like, why is neurons a gender?
I don't know.
It's a gender now.
It's a gender. It's not a gender now. It's... whoa! Yeah, let's not go there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, I don't. That can't be right. I had to have spelled it wrong, and we're just going to keep.
This is why we don't trust certain websites.
I don't. Yeah, well, I spelled it wrong, so
you can always copy and paste it.
No, this is way easier. Non-gender associated with neutrality.
Oh,
all right. So that is definitely not what we read.
Yeah,
I need to make sure I'm
make sure that when you spell words.
They're spelled right, and please don't trust Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, and don't trust Urban Dictionary.
Please.
I've found some weird things on Urban Dictionary.
As have I. Save yourself.
Urban Dictionary and Wikipedia are like my two phobias when it comes to some things. They're just, I like avoid them like the plague. And as a teacher, I will tell people never take it from Wikipedia.
Is that xenogender? Is that how that's pronounced?
See no gender, hear no gender.
Xeno.
Oh, like it's
I would
like a
assume it's-
xenophobe.
I would think Xeno.
Can you look it up for me really quick?
You have to spell it for me.
XENO and then gender.
I got it. Yeah, xenogender.
Yeah.
Definitely xenogender.
I do believe it's a neurodivergent thing for like.
You want the definition?
Yeah.
All right.
If I'm
Bless
correct
you.
on this, which I hope I am.
It isn't defined in relation to male or female. Yeah.
So from what I know about it, it's for neurodivergent people. So let's say autistic people who they feel gender differently.
Okay.
So they will. I've seen plenty, and it's unfortunate how often these get made fun of because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will relate more to cats than they do humans and use like a cat gender or something along those lines. Now, I don't know anyone who uses xenogenders, but I can't say that. I do know a few people, but I've never personally looked in depth into it.
Those aren't like. Are we talking about furries?
No,
No.
Okay.
these are different. Here, hold on. Because I know I have somebody who made a whole list of this. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this.
When you mentioned cats, my brain immediately went to the school that had a litter box in their bathroom.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I definitely don't want to know.
I'll tell you about it when you're older.
I'm older than you.
45? Yeah, I mean, like, heck. You're the youngest one here.
Yeah. So, like, there's actually a lot.
Okay, so I'm gonna steal your phone.
Ha! I told you, cat gender's on that list.
Okay,
well.
so yeah, it does talk. I mean, it talked about base genders, or list of genders that falls under the xenogender umbrella. And you pulled this up on Fandom.
I was just trying to find a list.
No, that's okay. But there's actually quite a few of them.
And like I said, I do believe it's for neurodivergent people who don't feel gender the way others do, and
Okay.
it's their way of expressing how they feel gender.
It's definitely. I mean, if we can find a way that helps people identify, gender, gender fluid or gender comfort.
Yes.
How I'm going to use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use gender comfort, whether that's a word or not.
We're making it one now.
We're making it one now, but the thing of it is that, everybody is entitled to feel comfortable in their skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're entitled to feel comfortable in their mind and their skin, and to express themselves in any way, shape, or form that they feel they need to. Now,
Unless it is harmful.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about gender. We're not talking about sociopathic tendencies or psychopathic tendencies.
One thing I have learned from being an LGBTQ youth is I think your mind is going to be your own worst enemy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Until you finally come to terms with, hey, this is who I am, and nothing can change that.
Well, you were talking about something earlier, and I'm going to come back to it, about the part where, you thought maybe you weren't transgender there for a minute.
Every now and then I have days where I'm just like, am I faking this? Because occasionally my brain will be like, stop, you're fine, this isn't real. But I don't think that about anybody else. It's mainly about myself. If I look at Leo, I'll never be like, oh, that's invalid. Like, no, never. But if I look at myself...
We know Leo's invalid, it's okay.
Hi!
I never said his personality wasn't invalid. I said his sexuality wasn't invalid. We love you. But like,
Go to hell.
I will.
Whoa!
Occasionally,
Here I am.
I'm already here. Occasionally, I will
EPA.
feel I will just feel like I'm faking this. It's all for attention. I'm not. This isn't valid. I'm not trans. Because that's just what I'm gonna say at the moment. But like, it's so weird because even occasionally I'll find a girl party and be like, oh, I guess I'm not into men only anymore. It's weird.
Do you think that, I mean, and again, you guys are teenagers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that because I'm an adult that, I have made up my mind and here it is and ta-da-da,
Yes.
and I'm not inclined to change it. But teenagers go through so many stresses
Yeah.
that when I was a teen, they didn't exist. There was no, internet was just becoming a thing. Cell phones were still suitcases. There's people who go, I can remember those, yeah. It really was. It was a suitcase and it had to be charged at home and you put it in your car. And anyway, and then there was the big block ones. That
My
were
first thought was like a Nokia that breaks concrete instead of the phone itself.
I'll show you some of them someday.
Oh no.
But anyway, you guys deal with so much more than what we deal with or what we dealt with. And so I guess one of the things that I ask is it possible that, under all the stresses that you guys are going through, that this is something that is just temporary or your way of coping or...
I would like to say, personally, for me, I started taking interest in girls back in 3rd grade. I had the biggest crush on my best friend in 3rd grade. And Yeah, if she knows it, she knows it. I don't really care. Haven't spoken to her in years. But I've kind of always felt, hey, I'm different than everybody else. I don't know how yet, but I'm different. I don't fit in here like that. And I personally, if it's a phase, it's a phase. You know, it's not like you have to be gay or whatever to, I guess, be yourself. But if it is, it is. You are exploring who you are. There's nothing wrong with exploring who you are.
I agree with that. So, what about people who, like, you know, Leo here? Leo's getting ready for a name change, a legal name change. That's kind of permanent.
Well, I had, like I said, back in another district, I had a friend who changed his name every week. It was very hard to keep up with, and I can't say that, so I'm not going to say that. But his name changed so often that we literally had to come up with a nickname to call him because we couldn't keep up.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, he at one point he had changed his name 3 times in the span of, I think, a day. It was very confusing, and I and Leo, I would like to say are lucky because we've found names that we enjoy and we don't really have to change them.
Leo doesn't like his middle name.
You made me pick a middle name.
Sebastian.
I love that. My middle name is Marcel. I can't say anything.
Well, I named it after the raccoon.
I named mine after...
I was thinking of the crab.
I was thinking of an anime character.
That too.
I love him.
So,
but...
like I said, I mean, you know, there are a lot of parents. I mean, we have parents that have children who are non-binary, non-gender conforming, transgender. And I think for some of them that is a phobia, is that it's a phase. Or not necessarily a phase, but that they'll grow out of it, or that they'll change out of it.
A lot of parents actually want it to be a phase. I know my father, for a fact, wanted it to be a phase.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think your grandmother was thoroughly convinced for the both of you that it was a phase. I think, you know, and again, you know, we'd had that talk, and she has managed to come to the realization that for the two of you, it's probably not. That her biggest issue is now me. I don't know why she worries more about me or not. But I guess the thing has to do with that, like, whole share thing.
It might be about. The whole having 2 gay kids now, maybe?
Maybe. Because that whole mentality of, what did I do wrong? I gave them the wrong DNA.
I know when I originally tried to come out to my father as trans, and I had to explain gender dysphoria, I actually made him cry. And I got told to slow down, and I was taking it fast. And that was the first time I had tried to come out. The second time, he completely ignored me. And I had given up at that point. But lately, he's actually getting a lot better, which I'm pretty happy with.
That's good.
He actually started correcting my stepmom on my name.
Really?
Really.
That's impressive. That is
at least
really
from
impressive.
what I've heard.
What happened to him?
No.
I don't know. But he's getting better. He's getting better.
So yeah. So again, but you know, for people who might, you know, who kind of go, okay, let's, you know, what if it is? What if it isn't? Mm-hmm. What if I am? What if I'm not?
And there's nothing wrong with it, even if it is a phase. It's as someone who dresses in all black, I'm gonna make an emo phase reference here. That's like having an emo phase. Everyone has like that phase of, is this who I am? Is this really what I want? And it's completely okay to explore who you are, your personality, your sexuality, your gender. There's nothing wrong with experimenting with pronouns and still being a cis-het person.
Yeah, absolutely.
By all means, be who you are and be true to yourself. If it is a phase, that's okay.
Leo,
if it's not, it's not.
Any opinion, Leo?
Again, it's just what Ace is saying. Don't be scared to explore yourself.
There's nothing wrong with being who you are as long as you're not hurting anybody.
You want to rephrase that one?
Don't be exploited.
Don't have a dirty mind and you'll be fine.
Don't. You have a dirty mind.
We all have
Even if you
minds.
have a dirty mind, there's nothing wrong with being
Don't
who
be
you are.
scared to explore your identity.
Okay, fair enough. So in the course of exploration, when you decide, you know, I'm going to explore and I'm going to try different things, what makes you go, I think I need to come out to somebody?
I think I hit that moment when I realized, like, I was looking at a playing card. That is where my name came from. And I was thinking about it because that was how I was kind of, like, thinking that other kids my age were much more into things than I was. And I think that was, like, my big moment. I was like, I might be asexual. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
and I had texted my best friend, who I'm dating now.